cries their spoken words? Who decides, who deserves, who decides, who defies, and who defers? Wanna know who denies, who deserves. In the night, girl, who cries their spoken words? Oh, and now I see it, baby, and you're floating on a bed. So I wanna know, why does love get to hurt so bad? Yeah.
Well, good evening, everyone who's tuned in to another live broadcast from the Duncan Showroom, where we highlight not only music from Vancouver Island or from the Coughlan Valley, but all the way over from Maple Ridge. Ta-da! Which is kind of cool because a friend of mine, who we share the same birthday, but she might be able to come over sometime in August to say hello. She had helped me with the 39 Days of July in the first couple of years. And she showed me pictures of where she lives in Maple Ridge. And when she looks out her porch and all this stuff, and I'm going, and she's thinking, wow, Maple Ridge is such a beautiful spot. You know? It is. Yeah, no wonder you're there. Those who are in the room already have seen them, but for those who are out and about, keep your eyes open. There are various businesses that will be having these at their counter. It's the new schedule for the 39 Days of July, 2024.
Hemp shops and liquor stores.
Yeah, pet shops, pot shops, and liquor stores. Now, there is a bit of a disclaimer, though, last year being the 13th annual 39 Days of July, which, you know, the magic of that, just with the number 13 and the number 39, was just, I felt it really sort of pushed it over the edge, and I kind of mentioned that a lot during the festival. And as always, people say that was the greatest festival ever so far. And I'm glad they say that, because I'd hate for them to say that it was, you know, not as good as last year's. So anyway, some reason in November of 23, I decided to recalculate what actually has transpired in the time period that we've been doing the 39 Days of July. And as it turns out, last year was our 12th. But not to take away from the 13th, what we're going to do is we're going to do the 12th this year. Right? And that way we can kind of slide it in between the 11th and the 13th, and therefore the expectations will be a lot less on me to make sure it's a really, 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 really good show, you know? Oh, wow. The things you think of that are problems, and then you try and solve them. But if you want some music, Bruce Coughlan, when you were out in the alleyway, playing with the tin whistle, I was just like, my gosh, that was incredible. He's going to be taking us on a little bit of a transportation into a Celtic flavor, like none other, and I think you're going to enjoy what he does. So let's give him a warm welcome and make him feel comfortable in the Coughlan Valley.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Bruce Coughlan, and I started off. That's a couple of tunes. The first one was a strathspey that I wrote called "The Coach Road." The second one's the traditional Irish jig called "The Cliffs of Moher." Okay, so this is dadgad tuning. It's kind of popular amongst traditional Celtic musicians. I've been playing it for probably about 25 years, along with standard tuning. So traditional music really has had an influence on a lot of my writing, so we're going to go through some of that and where it relates to dadgad tuning. I wrote this next song after my first visit to Speyfest in the east of Scotland. It's a beautiful festival. When I first went there, it was a 6-day festival. Started on a Tuesday, ended on a Sunday. It was just an amazing festival. And every night, all night, you could hear fiddles and you could hear people singing all through this little town called Falkabers on the banks of the Spey River. And so being my first time to the festival, I didn't want to miss a thing. I stayed up for 6 days. I swear, maybe a cat nap here or there, but it was about 6 a.m., maybe 5:30 on a Monday morning when I finally went for my bed, realizing I had to get up at 7 a.m. And it surprised the heck out of me how I went from feeling so pleasantly imbibed to being absolutely fractured in just an hour and a half. So I wrote this song about it, because what are you going to do? It's called A Minstrel in Moray. Oh, the banks, oh, the Odyssey, oh, the banks, oh, the Spey, oh, the banks, oh, the Odyssey, oh, the banks of Spey. Nearby bell was ringing, somewhere a bird was singing, I don't know. I could hear lorries grinding gears and roar that echoed from the high street below. Like a drum, my head was beating a not so gentle reminder of the night before. I shook my head, start the world to turning, thoughts of daylight burning, places to go. These are the days I wished I'd known better, a repentant sinner in a cold light of dawn. I should have learned sooner than later, but love her, hate her, I should leave her alone. Spoke my face, water cold and clear, weather's drab and drear, but I don't care. Sharp as a thistle, I hear kettles whistle, and the smell of breakfast as it drifts up the stairs. These are the thoughts first set me thinking. These are the words as they came to my mind. I could live life of a tinker or a poet or a drinker among people so kind. So kind. The nights are long, hours are filled with laughter, and the nights are stronger than whiskey. Oh, down the lane, nearby fiddles playing, somewhere a dancer swaying to and fro. Bend my ear, well-weathered story, sing me your songs, the wide open road. Tell me tales, long ancient glory, heroes, highwaymen rest of me. Well, the devil take the rest of me in these small hours. Won't be long, morning comes along, I'll be up and gone and on my way. Spend my days menstruing Murray. Well, if I had my way, I might be there today. I'd sing charms, been horn to Port Knocky, oh the banks, the lost sea, oh the banks of the Spey, banks of the lost sea, oh the banks of the Spey. Well, thank you so much. Well, traditional music, as I said, has always been a real influence. My dad took me to see the Clancy Brothers and Tommy Makem when I was 6 years old. They bounded onto the stage, and I looked up from the fifth row, and at a heartbeat, I knew how I was going to spend the rest of my life. At 6 years old. Always been intrigued by some of these ancient songs. Here's one of my favorite traditional songs. This one goes back about 200 or 300 years. And it's one of the eeriest as well. It's called She Moved Through the Fair. And it's the lyrics explain a nighttime visit from a gentleman's deceased betrothed who's summoning him to the grave. My young love said to me, my mother won't mind, and my father won't slight you for your lack of kind. She stepped away from me, and this she did say, oh, it will not be long, love, till our wedding day. She stepped away from me, and she moved through the fire. As fondly I watched her move here and move there, she made her way homeward with one star away. As the swan in the evening flew over the lake. So softly she entered, at her feet made no din. She came close beside me, and this she did say, oh, it will not be long, love, till our wedding Well, one of my favorite songwriters of all time is, of course, Robert Burns, the great Scottish bard. And everyone knows him as a poet. Therefore your honest sonsy face, great chieftain o' the puddin' race. Upon the ma you take your place, punch, tripe, therum, weel are you worthy o' grace as lang as my arm. So, everyone recognizes Robbie Burns as a poet, a great Scottish poet, but he was also a songwriter who wrote more songs than Paul McCartney. And he was even equally as popular in his day. Anyhow, this next song is a kind of a tongue-in-cheek song. Robbie spent most of his years working in abject poverty as a farmer and writing beautiful poems. He did for a while take a job as an excise man, a tax man. And his job was to go around to the people making moonshine and tax them. Now, being a great fan of moonshine himself, I think Robbie was more likely to have turned a blind eye than he was to actually do anything of any consequence as far as a tax collector came about. But he did write this beautiful song, kind of a tongue-in-cheek representation where the devil is portrayed as sort of a Pied Piper of Hamelin. But instead of leading the rats away, he was dancing away the tax man to the sound of a fiddle. So the song is called The Deal's Awa with Excise Man. And I wrote a little jig that goes with it, which I call Dancing with a Deal. So. Town and he danced to the excise man. Ilko I cries all Mahoon, wish you luck with the prize man. Deals awa, the deals awa, the deals awa, the excise man. He's danced awa, he's danced awa, he's danced awa, the excise man. Mutton will brew, a drink will laugh, bring and rejoice, man, and many brought thanks to the muckle block deal who danced awa the excise man. Deals awa, the deals awa, the deals awa the excise man. He's danced awa, he's danced awa, he's danced awa the excise man. There's threesome reels, there's foursome reels, there's hornpipes and strathspey. Man of the ibis dance to come to the land as the deals awa the excise man. The deals awa, the deals awa, the deals awa, excise man. He's danced awa, he's danced awa, he's danced awa the excise man. Now, the only thing Robbie Burns liked more than whiskey was women. And he was very fond, and I think he procreated 24 times. Anyhow, he had a way with words, which I think had probably a lot to do with it. But here's one of my favorite songs. The melody goes back to 1600, so it was even an ancient melody in Burns' day. And he wrote this song in 1787. And it's called Green Grow the Rashes. There's naught but care on every hand, every hour that passes on signifies the life of man, were not for the losses of. Green grow the rushes of, green grow the rushes of, sweetest hours that I spent among the lasses of. The worldly race may riches chase, and riches still may fly them all, while at the last they grasp them fast, their hearts cannot enjoy them all. Green grow the rushes of, green grow the rushes of, sweetest hours that I spent upon the lasses of. Give me a canny hour at 10, my arms around the dearie, oh. Worldly cares and worldly men, they all gang topsail teary, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Sweetest hours that I spent upon the lasses, oh. Lovely dears, her finest work she passes, oh. Her apprenticed hand she tried on man, and then she made the lasses, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Sweetest hours that I spent upon the lasses, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Green grow the rushes, oh. Sweetest hours that I spent among the lasses, oh. All right, well, here's an Irish song. Is there any Irish folks in the audience? Well, as my dad used to say, there's only two kinds of folks in the world. Them what are Irish, and them what wish they were. Oh, they always talk about the luck of the Irish. Can you think of a more unlucky set of people? Unless, of course, they're living in Gaza. Which at one time or another was the same thing. Anyway, here's a traditional song. It's a beautiful courting song called Kelswater. Here's a half to your bonny Kelswater, for it's there you'll find the pleasures of life. and it's there you'll find the fishing and the fowling, and a bonny wee girl for your wife. By the hills and the glens, low valleys, grow the softest linen so fine, and the flowers are all dripping with honey. There dwells Martha, true love of mine. Now, me Martha, you're the first girl I courted. You're the one set my heart in the snare. And if ever I should lose you to another, I would leave my Kel's water so fair. For this one and that one may court her, and no other can take her from me. For I love her as I love my Kel's water, like a primrose of love by the sea. Here's a health to your bonny Kel's water, for it's there you'll find pleasures of life. For it's there you'll find the fishing and the fowling, and a bonny wee girl for your wife, and a bonny wee girl for your wife. So, my younger days, I was saying to some folks earlier that I started playing guitar probably when I was 10 years old. My hands got big enough. And by grade 7, I was playing in the Hillcrest Elementary Folk Band, playing the upright bass and singing folk songs and all sorts of lovely things like that. And I was in the choir. And that summer, we moved from Coquitlam to Langley, back when Langley was the sticks. And I showed up in grade 8, and after about 2 months, the music teacher came up to me, put his hand on my shoulder and said, "Bruce, I hate to tell you this, but I don't believe you have any musical aptitude. So I'm letting you go from choir and from band." And so at 13, I left school. And my dad sat me down and he says, "Well, there's house rules here. It's either you're going to school, you got a job, or there's the door." And I tried a couple of odd jobs. Chicken catching. That was not a pleasant job. When I quit that, I got a job at the kill floor at a sausage factory, cleaning up the mess. Anyhow, after my 14th birthday, I took door number 3. I picked up my guitar and I left home. I started playing guitar down the streets, busking in Vancouver in the 1970s. It was a romantic time. Wasn't like today at all. You know, it was a lovely bohemian lifestyle. Anyhow, I've always fancied myself a balladeer of the ancient sort of order, those traveling musicians who go from place to place, evening to evening, sharing stories and drawing together people and into these unique little communities. We're unique, this tiny little community of ours. So thank you once again for coming down tonight. So I wrote this song about this. It's called "The Blink of an Eye." North wind at my back at the close of day, to a small fireside I made my way. There's sure to be a full moon out tonight, and all to guide my way. another dawn, to another day. Even rivers change and mountains crumble. Given time, boys, given time, they rise and fall, they toss and tumble. By and by, boys, by and by, and the cascades, raging water, make way for the changing tides. Restless spirits pass you by in the blink of an eye. I have walked a road less traveled, I sailed through troubled seas, seen a change in the wind, heard a change in me. It won't be long till winter's on the way, and all my hopes spin round, and the night closes in. Lights burn all night long, even rivers change and mountains crumble. Given time, boys, given time, they rise and fall, they toss and tumble. By and by, boys, by and by, and the cascades, raging water, make way for the changing tide. Those restless spirits pass you by in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye. I rose up on a cold November day, frost clung to the ground, my breath hung in the air. 'Neath the silk grey dawn, with luck enough, there'll be an early spring, and things may turn around when seeds take hold. In the fertile ground, even rivers change and mountains crumble. Given time, boys, given time, they rise and fall, they toss and tumble. By and by, boys, by and by, and the cascades, raging water, makes way for the changing tide. Restless spirits pass you by in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye, in the blink of an eye. Now, my second trip to Scotland was this magical trip to Spayfest, and they picked us up in a bus from Glasgow Airport, well, Paisley Airport actually, and it was about a 4.5 hour drive. We'd already been traveling for about 20 hours. And so, feeling a little tired as we approached our destination, pulled over at a little place along the Fiddick River. Any single malt Scotch enthusiasts will recognize the name Fiddick. Anyhow, we pulled up to the Fiddick Side pub. The Fiddick Side Inn is about 400 or 500 years old. Tiny little place. Door jams about that high. You have to duck under to get in. And I walked up, and the host walks up and he says, "What'll you have?" And I look at a wall full of whiskey. I said, "I don't know." Surprised me. So he points to a bottle. I poured a dram, and a lovely slanger, and I pick it up. I get just about to my lips, and he goes, "Shh." Just pushes my hand gently down. I set the glass down. He says, "You're not going to drink it like that." I said, "What do you mean? You mean out of a glass?" That's kind of the civilized way. He says, No, you need water." water in whiskey? And he says, aye. He says 40% was established for taxation purposes. That's why most liquor is at 40%. It's not where it tastes the best. He says, put a few drops of water in that. And he pours a little bit in it. He says, now try it. And I had a little sip. And it opens up the bouquet. All of a sudden, it takes on all these subtleties. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And so ever since then, I've been drinking my whiskey with a tiny bit of water. And I wrote this song. It's called Sweet Water and Whiskey. When I was a child, I'd drink sweet water, pure sweet water from a fresh, cold stream. I never had care or trouble, straight from a path that was pure and clean. Now every young man with a thirst for adventure, liquor from every point of the globe. Leave it to the Scots fair, the pure malt whiskey, nothing much sweeter in the world, you know. You could take your bourbon, take your corn whiskey, put 'em in a sack to the deep blue sea. Give me just enough of that pure malt whiskey, I'll be happy as a man can be. May the ways of the world leave a stain on your palate, only hard liquor can wash it clean. Kicks like a mule, you can bet I've had it, trying to wash off the dust and the dirt I've seen. Beer by the barrel, wine by the gallon, hard liquor, every strength and style. But I never get enough of that clear, sweet water, pure malt whiskey till the day I die. Gone by, I've begun to mellow, not hard around the edges as I used to be. Take a little drop of that pure sweet water, ever I drink a little malt whiskey. You could save me all of your grand elixirs, spare the mixer and I'll be just fine. If you give me just enough of that pure sweet water, drink malt whiskey till the barrel runs dry. If you give me just enough of that clear, sweet water, and I'll drink malt whiskey till the barrel runs dry. Sweet water and whiskey. All right. Well, I'm going to play one more song for you this first set. Now, for a while, I was a big fan of historical fiction and lovely things. I got involved in a writer by the name of Bernard Cornwell, and Bernard Cornwell writes some amazing books. He wrote one called The Gallows Thief. And it takes place in the year 1800 in London, England, and it follows 4 people on their way to the gallows. And what was striking is every step along the way, somebody would have their hand out to the condemned man. Because if you didn't tip your landlord, chances are he would evict your family in your sudden absence. If you didn't tip the priest, you weren't going to find your way to heaven, were you? And if you didn't tip the hangman, it wasn't going to be a pleasant transition. So it's a song I like to pull out at this time of year. I got to record this song with one of my heroes, a fellow by the name of John Cowan from Newgrass Revival, my favorite singers of all time. So he sings this one with me and my group Tiller's Folly. It's called Death and Taxes. Me, I'm just a simple man, made for simple things. I work an honest job, try to make ends meet. Earn a modest living, I labor days on end. Do the best just to do the best I can. 12 calls every Sunday, the faithful go to pray. Sermons ever changing, but the story's all the same. Church is made of money, still it needs more every day. Always leave them something on the plate. Now everywhere there's people grinding axes. Just so many things you know are true. There's few things sure in life as death and taxes. At every step the tax man waits for you. Times are getting harder, you try your level best. Tax man comes calling, he wants his pound of flesh. Devil take the hindmost, tax man takes the rest. Leave a good man's patience to the test. A hangman, he's a working stiff, he draws a workman's pay. Puts an end to suffering and he'll send you on your way. He's always ever grateful and he likes to lend a hand. Always makes a killing in the end. Confession, hears every word I say, offers absolution, and he sends me on my way. Topple off this mortal coil and meet my stony end, delivered from the tax man, amen. Now the time has come, batten down the hatches. Just so many things you know are true. Nothing sure in life is death and taxes. At every step the tax man waits for you. Oh, at every turn the tax man waits for you. Oh, at every step the tax man waits for you. Well, that's round number one. My name is Bruce. I'm going to hopefully get to shake hands and meet with each of you. I do have CDs for sale for those folks who still have the antiquated systems on which to play them. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you can take me home with you tonight. Digitally speaking, of course. And yeah, and I'll be right back in about 15, 20 minutes. So enjoy halftime. Like
what it can give. tão com a sacanagem, eu anel. Ande o anel. Se já tão com a sacanagem, eu anel. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup.
thought you've ever held upon the prospect of beauty. You may have seen her, have you ever looked her in the eye? You gazed into a face, godlike grace defined in every measure. You've known till now becomes a lie. Deep within the forest green, where spirits still sing their ancient songs, soft the voice, a trickle like a spring that gently falls between two stones. Have you taken time to wonder of the beauty that lies beneath the sun? Step aboard your life, my friend, the journey's just begun. Mundane of all the strain and bustle of the streets, like a magic carpet ride of lore, let it sweep you off your feet. Wake into the wonder, leave all your earthly cares undone. Your life, my friend, journey's just begun. Step aboard your life, my friend, beauty's just begun. Sky, the snow-capped spires high above your head. Steep beneath the canyon walls, a cascade falls, drifting while it spreads. Take it to the wonder, all your earthly cares are done. Step about your life, my friend, beauty's just begun. Elevate your life, my friend, journey's just begun. Oh, celebrate your life, my friend, journey's just begun. Welcome back. All right, well, being an old folkie myself, somewhat influenced by the great folk music scare of the 1960s, when great music almost caught on. Anyhow, close enough. So I wrote this song. It's called As I Walk Down This Road. As I walk down this road, I see many people cry. I see sorrow and sadness too. I can't see a reason why. We all have a cross to bear. Everybody bears their load. People felt so much emptiness as I walk down this road. Me, I've got a destination, but it's taking a toll. I got holes in both my shoes, I've got blisters on my soul. There's something I keep searching for down this long stony road. I have never come this far before as I walk down this road. As I walk down this road, I see many people smile. I feel joy and gladness too. Feel like laughing all the while. It reminds me life is for living. Brightens up my weary load. I can still believe in happiness as I walk down this road. As I walk down this road. As I walk. That's a Thelma and Louise ending. So, I've done 13 tours of Scotland. It's a place that's captured my fancy. And one of the places that I find most amazing is a place called the Orkney Archipelago. It's an amazing place. Trees don't grow too tall on Orkney. The wind sort of whistles across the flat rocks. There's standing stones there 1,000 years older than Stonehenge. And played there. My first time playing there, I got to play in St. Magnus Cathedral. It was built in 1100. Just an amazing thing to be able to sing. And they said, you know, you're the first non-Indigenous person to sing in this cathedral. Wow, in 900 years. Pretty amazing. But Orkney itself, it's a beautiful place, and it does hold a certain connection, especially with British Columbia. See, most of the first non-Indigenous people in this area came from Scotland with the Hudson's Bay Company. The last provisioning post was Stromness in Orkney. And Logan's Well was the last place they could take on water before crossing the Atlantic. So a lot of people in Orkney, a lot of Orcadians came over at that time. So I've been over Orkney probably about half dozen times. It's a mystical, magical place. So I wrote this song right here. It's called Isles of Stone. Guess it was fate, fancy of fortune that first brought me here. Walk on your shores, I did not come with notions about you. Charms so surround you, you're hard to ignore. You islands fair, like picture book pages, the mystic reverie that burns in your veins. Your weathered face, true rock of ages, is cast in my memory, ever to remain. And I wish I was in Kirkwall's cathedral. I wish I was where the holy heroes lay in dark, true tales. I'm thinking of St. Magnus with a solitude that stirs me to the bone. For isles of stone. And was it here that the brave last provisioned when they crossed the wild oceans centuries ago? And Logan's Well on the high street of Stromness still watches the ships as they come and they go. And I wish I was in the parish of Orfield. I wish I was in the hall of Castrain, in the cold north rain. I'm thinking of the Arctic where the summer wind sings slow on Scapa Flow. For isles of stone. It's strange to miss a place, makes you feel lonely. It's sad to miss a place, makes you feel small. Uneasy feeling like you're only passing through, just a pilgrim in the scheme of it all. I wish I was in the parish of Orfield. I wish I was in the hall of Castrain. I'm old north rain. I'm thinking of the ages, and I'm wishing I had something more to say. I wish I was in Kirkwall's cathedral. I wish I was in the pubs along the quay, in dark true ales I'm drinking to St. Magnus, while the haunting winds of waiting winter moan. For isles of stone, over isles of stone, over isles of stone, over isles of stone. Oh, thanks a lot. Now, when I was growing up in the Coughlan household, 13 was sort of a rite of passage. 12, maybe 13. It's the time in my life, or in our family life, where we'd ask our mom, "Hey, Mom, can you make a snack?" And she would say, "Go get it yourself." Knowing it was only a matter of time. Only a matter of time before something slipped, something fell, something broke. And those inutterable words would come to our lips. "Oh, shit!" To which my mother would reply, "Not in here, it attracts flies." So, of course, now I'm grown and my kids are all young adults. And as they went through puberty, there'd come the time where they'd ask, "Hey, Dad, can you make me something for lunch?" And I'd say, "Oh, go fix it yourself." And I'd wait till something slipped and something fell, and that term would come to my lips. "Oh, shit!" Or it'd come to their lips. They go, "Oh, shit." I'd turn to them. I'd say, "Not in here, it attracts flies." And they'd look at me sort of like, "Where's that come from?" Well, that, my dear, is your grandmother speaking to you through me. And that's the idea behind this song. It's called I Was Here. Remember me when I am done. Please remember me through your daughters and your sons. I was here. I walked the road to you before your time. I was here. Remember me when I have gone my way. And please remember me and all we shared in these days. Hold them dear. I walked the road beside you for a while when I was here. There'll come a day our road will part. I can't say where or when. We should be grateful for the time we have until such time as then. And please remember me as one who always cared. And oh, remember please, we're the best of times, best of days with you. You remember me when I was here. Be a memory lost in the midst of day to day, until some certain turn of phrase calls me back again. And please remember me when I have gone my way. And oh, remember please, these were the best of times, of days with you. Remember through your daughters and your sons, once I was here. I was here. Once upon a day, not so long ago, there was a time I had nothing more than time. I saw my life laid out lazily before me in an infinite line. crashing to the sea. Once I knew for certain all the joys of life awaited beneath the star of destiny. Time is a teacher, every lesson takes a toll. Now I know nothing comes free. Seems strange, I think on it now. Life seems so settled in its way. I'm just realizing now, quickly the years just melt away. One single word could move me to laughter. Now a single word could drive me to tears. Once I felt like so many hours to each day. So what's happened to the years? Not the way that they appeared at all. No one's better catch you when you fall. Once I thought faith alone could move any mountain. Now my world is crashing to the sea. Once I thought faith alone could move any mountain. The world is crashing to the sea. There was nothing in this great big world I couldn't do. Things aren't as certain as they seem. Once, a song I wrote once upon a time. All right. Well, I've had great luck over my 50-year career working with some amazing, amazing musicians. For the last 27 years, I've been working with my group Tiller's Folly, and among them a multi-instrumentalist by the name of Nolan Murray. Plays amazing fiddle, mandolin, mandocaster, anything with strings on it. So when I took up brought this whole dadgad tuning, he thought he'd give it a try. And he came up with this little instrumental tune called, what the heck's it called? It'll come to me. Hold on. Lynch Mob. Bloomsbury's Lynch Mob. All right. Had quite a few adventures over the years, different places we visited. One of the loveliest places in Washington is a place called Moses Lake. Moses Lake, Washington, during the summer is just an Eden for people who enjoy outdoor activities, biking, hiking, swimming, windsurfing, you name it. In August, in Moses Lake, it is beautiful. Moses Lake, however, in January paints an entirely different picture. And we had been driving 6.5 hours through a blinding snowstorm when we pulled up into Moses Lake one January night. And these little places so small that the hotel so small it didn't even have a front desk. It had a little key thing you put in your credit card and dropped it out, that sort of thing. And anyhow, sitting there, my hotel room, it's about 11:30. I'm staring out as the snow is washing up against the windows. You see the trucks going by. And I thought to myself, my gosh, a little nightcap wouldn't go amiss. And it's then I remembered that, hey, I had a can of beer from the rider from the night before that I'd stuffed into my suitcase. Well, that'll do just fine. So I reached into my suitcase, not realizing, of course, that suitcase had been sitting next to the heater for 6.5 hours. And that beer can was warm to the touch, warmer than warm. And when I popped the top on that can of beer, the smell that had assaulted my olfactory senses was so off-putting, was so wretched, I just about didn't drink it. But my mother never raised a quitter. Anyhow, somewhere between sipping that beer and finishing that beer, staring out over the interstate, I wrote this song. It's called Closing In on Midnight. Closing in on midnight, and empty my last pull of beer. Doesn't seem to be anything happening here. Closing in on midnight, 18-wheelers driving down the interstate. Doesn't seem to be any way I can relate. The more I think, the less I know. The more I wish I could just let go. Closing in on midnight, not as inspired as I might like to be. In fact, I'm just tired and lonely. The more I think, the less I know. The more I wish I could just let go. The more I think it's a waste of time. If I could just get you on the line. Closing in on midnight, just as quiet as a tomb, I swear, with a cold neon flashing vacancy here. Closing in on midnight, 18-wheelers driving down the interstate. Doesn't seem to be any way I can relate. Okay, well, here's a song I wrote in Inverness, Scotland. Inverness is the gateway to the Highlands. It's a beautiful little city. But I'd spent the day walking about the various bridges, crossing the footbridges and traffic bridges that cross the Ness River right by its mouth. It's Inver, so to speak. So yeah, a day I think I had a pint of beer in a pub that was 500 years old, and it was kind of neat. And it was just about just starting to get dark. It just sort of clouding over, and I was feeling kind of peckish. And I thought, well, couldn't go wrong visiting a chippy. They're kind of like Starbucks in Seattle. There's one on every single corner. So I walked in and ordered up a sack of chips, because they don't call them bags. They have these little paper sandwich bags, and they stuff those full of, they don't call them French fries, they call them chips. And liberally douse them in malt vinegar and salt. And then they handed me a spork, a little wooden spork. And as I stepped out into the crisp evening air to enjoy my repast, it was at that time that a deluge of biblical proportions descended upon Inverness. Just so much moisture falling from the sky all at once, washing 200 years of detritus off the rooftop. There was coal dust. There was pigeon dust. And it soaked me from head to foot, and I'm looking down at my poor sodden sack of chips, which by this point looked so terrible and unappealing that I just about didn't eat them. But I did, and that inspired this little song. It's called When the Rain Falls Down. It's an autumn day in Inverness, and soon the night will follow day. The sky is leaden in 1,000 shades of gray, and it feels like rain, feels like rain. Cold wind is howling up the streets. November's rattling at the door. No use pretending, 'cause we've seen it all before. When it feels like rain, it must be rain. And the rain falls down, and the rain falls all around my head, and the rain will wash away the pain when the rain falls down. I'm huddled in a doorway, I'm eating chips from a sack. A stream of muddy water running down my back, and it's always the rain, always the rain. And the rain falls down, and the rain falls all around my head, and the rain will wash away the pain when the rain falls down. I got this muddy water running through my veins. There's never rain enough to wash my cares away. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Days shifting into shadow and mirrored on the flagstone streets. The sky is setting through a brilliant shock of blue, but I'm thinking of you. I'm thinking of you. And the rain falls down, and the rain falls all around my head, Well, here's another song that I wrote, and I got to record with two of my greatest heroes of all time. Been a roots music fan all my life, and Newgrass Revival has been one of the greatest bands of all time in my mind. It's a super band. They play their own style of music, which is a cross between soul music and bluegrass. Amazing, amazing stuff. If you ever get a chance, if you're not familiar, Newgrass Revival, where their two main singers are, of course, John Cowan, bass player for the Doobie Brothers these days, and Sam Bush, one of the greatest mandolin players going. So I wrote this song, and I got to record it with both of them. So. It's called When I Pass This Way Again. When I was young, I wasted time. I had no sense to care. I wandered down so many roads, finding nothing there. Young man's game, reckless fears, a lost, lonely path. I tread upon those tender hearts, never looking back. Oh, please forgive me now if I caused you any pain, and I will try my level best when I pass this way again. When I was young, I wasted love with no thoughts of regret. A young man's game, a reckless crime I'm not forgiven yet. You could fool all too many folks too much of the time. I took it all for granted, so many were so kind. Oh, please forgive me now if I caused you any pain, and I will try my level best when I pass this way again. It seems the more years I live, more precious life becomes, and the more I feel the sorrow for the ones I may have wrong. Old man's game of win or lose, the last thing on my mind. When at last you think of me, don't think of me unkind. Oh, please forgive me now if I caused you any pain, and I will try my level best when I pass this way again. Oh, please forgive me now if I caused you any pain, and I will try my level best when I pass this way again. When I pass this way again. When I pass this way again. Well, I think I mentioned in one conversation that I absolutely love Scots vernacular language. I think there's things that can just be said in such a way. This song was written by the great Paisley bard, Robert Tannahill. And sad enough story. He wrote beautiful, beautiful songs. He was a young man. He was only in his 20s. When his book publisher didn't pick up his second book, in a fit of despondency, he drowned himself in a canal. He wrote this one song, though. It's called A Wee Drapiot. A drapiot, a wee drapiot is a nightcap, is a nice little a wee dram of scotch. And it's about how simple pleasure, folks gathering together in the course of an evening and over a wee drapiot. Life is a burden we all had to climb. and carries burden we carry lying. Heavy be your burden, poverty or lot. Ah, we're happy, together, out we drop beyond. Trees are all stripped, oh, their mantles set green. Flowers of the forest no longer are seen. For winter she is here, we her cold icy cold. When we're all met here together, how do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? How we're all met here together, how do we drop beyond? Job in his lamentations said man was made to man, and there's nae such thing as pleasure fae the cradle tae the urn. But in his computations he surely has forgot. Ah, the pleasure man enjoys, how do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? Ah, we're all met here together, how do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? How do we drop beyond? Ah, we're all met here together, how do we drop beyond? Well, thank you so much. I was playing down in a place called Sandy, Oregon, a couple of years back, and I was just towards the end of the program, as we are right now, and the presenter sort of calls me from the side of the stage. And what is it? He says, Tom May is in the audience. Oh, great. He says, do you mind if he gets up and sings a song with you? Tom May, for those people who are not familiar, is an NPR radio host and folk singer extraordinaire, and a good friend of mine. Oh, sure, come on, Tom, get up. He bounds on the stage, he's got his guitar, and I said, so, Tom, what do you want to sing? He said, Somewhere Down the Line. I looked at him, I said, Tom, that sounds familiar. He looked at me sort of quizzical looking look, and he says, it should. You wrote it. And I thought to us for a second, I thought, okay. He had picked the song up 20 years ago and had been finishing every night with this song for 20 years. I'd forgotten all about it. So it's called Somewhere Down the Line. And it has a good sort of 60s sing-along chorus, the sort of thing you'd expect from Glenn Yarbrough. Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile, and I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. Let's try that, shall we? Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile, and I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. Now, I wrote this song originally about an old Celtic tradition. In both Irish and Scottish traditions, the last song of the night and or the last drink of the night is always dedicated to those we wish were still here. Those folks that are no longer with us. And they take that opportunity, last time of the night, is to remember those people and to drink a glass to them and to sing a song for them. And that's what the song was written about. Quickly pass these precious hours, good friends close at hand. Laugh and cheer our cares away, to sing in voices one. All at last, evening's gone, we've lost all track of time. We must make our way back home, somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile. And I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. I was so much younger when this roving life I chose. Miles erased beneath my feet as years they come and go. Seen a world of riches rare, people true and kind. Always found my way back home, somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile. And I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. I wish to all safe journey home just before we go. Thought to those now parted, the sweet so long ago. All those friends we wish were here, come raise your voice with mine. We might meet again someday, somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile. And I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. Somewhere down the dusty road, think of you and smile. And I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. Yes, I wonder if you'll think of me somewhere down the line. Thank you everybody so much. What a pleasure. Thanks for coming down. I'm gonna play you one. Couldn't leave you with a sleepy song like that. So here's one of my favorite Irish tunes. And a beggar I beg for 3 score or more in this little Isle of Green, and I'm talking the lefty down to you, go by the name of O'Donoghue. All right, you go, and Sir Beggin is the best. When a man is tired, he'll lean down a rest, he can take for a supper when there's nothing else to do. Down a road corner with his old rickadoo. I slept in a barn way down a caravan way for the morning, slept till the dawn. Hole in the roof and the rain coming through, cats and the rats, I was playing peekaboo. Who should have wakened but the woman of the house, with her white spotty apron and a calico blouse. She began to frighten when I said to you, don't be afraid, man, it's just Johnny Doo. I met a little flaxen-haired girl one day. Well, good morning, little flaxen-haired girl, I'd say. Little beggar man, and how do you do? With your rags and your bags and your whole rigadoo. a cockles and a collar and a tie and a nice young lady will put your by and by. Have a pair of cockles, she's got them blue, and an old custom lady will make her too. Over the hill with a pack on my back, over the hill with a great and heavy sack, hole in the shoes and the rain coming through. Skittle maddle diddle mat, so Johnny do. Gotta be gone for skittly tonight, fire's all raked out the lights. Now for the story of my old rickadoo, thank you bless you from old Johnny do. Little beggar and a beggar, I pay 3 score a morn in this little Isle of Green, and I'm home for the lappy down to Sigew, down by the name of O'Donoghue. Oh, there it's gone, so begging is the best while, and a man is tired, he can lay him down and rest, he can beg for his supper when there's nothing else to do. But a cut around the corner, where's our Rickon Oh, thank you very much. Like me on Facebook, to subscribe to my YouTube channel, friend me on Instagram, take me home with you on CD, and all the rest.
Are you coming back for 39 days this summer?
Well, no, not this summer, but put in your request for next year.